The last few days have been packed with so many headlines that we want to present some of the news to you in a quick rundown. Amazon, for example, announced a series of adaptations for the iconic game series Mass Effect. They also want to shut down the Freevee streaming service. All the movies and series are migrating to the normal Prime offering, just without the ads. Meanwhile, actor Timothée Chalamet has a lot of work ahead of him. Filming on Dune 3 is now scheduled to start in August 2025, while the sequel Wonka 2 has also been announced. And for those who don't like things quite as sweet, the successful studio A24 is working on a badass samurai film called Bushido. New impressions from Pandora. In 2025, we can finally look forward to the eagerly awaited third part of the Avatar series. Now there are new images of fire and ash. These were revealed in the course of D23 in Brazil. For example, we can get a first impression of a new nomadic Na'vi tribe that moves through the air in balloon-like ships. And there's also detailed water worlds to be admired again. After the forest and water tribes, however, the focus of Avatar Fire and Ash will be on the so-called Ash People. According to James Cameron, these embody the dark side of the Na'vi and carry a lot of anger. The Ash People live in a barren volcanic landscape, which is a stark contrast to the colorful forests and oceans of Pandora. Cameron explained that the anger of this people was triggered by recurring volcanic eruptions. These catastrophes have shaken the Ash People's faith in nature, leading to the conflict with other Na'vi tribes who worship nature. The sequel is therefore likely to be gloomier than its predecessors. Avatar 3 Fire and Ash will be released in theaters on December 19th, 2025. Star Wars fans are likely to have plenty to look forward to over the next few years, in addition to a number of new movie projects, including The Mandalorian and Grogu and Lando. A new Star Wars trilogy has now been commissioned by Lucasfilm. According to an insider from the trade magazine Deadline, it's said to be episodes 10 through 12. In other words, a continuation of the Skywalker saga. And this could be quite realistic, as there's still a Star Wars movie in development in which Rey tries to establish a new Jedi Order. At the same time, though, there's also insider reports that the trilogy will exist independently of the Skywalker saga. Either way, Lucasfilm has brought in Simon Kinberg to develop the new movies. Kinberg is no stranger to the world of Disney. In addition to Star Wars Rebels, he was heavily involved in the X-Men films and had a significant role in Logan. And he was also involved as an executive producer on Deadpool and Wolverine. It's not yet known when the new trilogy will be released in cinemas. This new trilogy will be part of a whole bunch of Star Wars movies that Disney currently has in the making. A film by Taika Waititi, a prequel about the First Jedi by James Mangold, and a trilogy by Rian Johnson are to be released as well. The big day will finally arrive on December 20th. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is set to hit theaters. A number of additional images have now been published via Entertainment Weekly. One of them shows Sonic's new antagonist, Shadow the Hedgehog. Shadow was introduced back in 2001 in Sonic Adventure 2 and has enjoyed great popularity ever since. According to director Jeff Fowler, the main priority was to adapt Shadow's dark backstory in an appropriate way. In the games, Shadow has a tragic connection to Gerald Robotnik's granddaughter, Maria, who is played by Alila Brown in the movie. Fowler explains that he wanted to maintain the essence of this story to portray Shadow's emotional core, and the character of Shadow is spoken by none other than Keanu Reeves. Moreover, the new images show Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles accompanied by the so-called Chow creatures. And Jim Carrey is also returning for Sonic 3. This time, even in a double role. He will, of course, once again play Sonic's arch-enemy Dr. Robotnik, but he'll also play his grandfather, Gerald Robotnik. Ben Schwartz, who once again provides the voice of Sonic, describes the movie as bigger and more impressive than its predecessors. Producer Toby Asher even mentions some Avengers moments. Should the movie perform well at the box office again, we can most certainly look forward to another sequel. According to Fowler, it could introduce another character from the Sonic universe. Exactly which one remains open. However, fans have already been speculating about the long-awaited appearance of Amy Rose in Sonic 4. Perhaps we can already expect a small teaser for Amy in the post-credit scene of Part 3, as was the case with Shadow at the end of Sonic 2. There's news regarding the Harry Potter series. The casting process is making good progress, especially when it comes to finding a new Albus Dumbledore. But there's also less positive news about the release date. The planned remake of the Harry Potter series will likely not be released any sooner than 2027, and not as originally announced in 2026. HBO boss Casey Bloys revealed in an interview with the trade magazine Deadline that the project is still in the early stages of development. The writers have only recently started working on the project, and the casting process is still very much in the early phases. However, it seems that an actor is already being considered for the role of Albus Dumbledore. British actor Mark Rylance is being discussed as a promising candidate. Rylance is considered a fixture in the movie world and won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in 2016 for his role in Bridge of Spies. However, no official negotiations have been held to date, and neither Rylance nor Warner Brothers have issued a statement on the matter. Also open is which actors will take on the roles of Harry, Ron, and Hermione. The Harry Potter series is to be released simultaneously on Max and HBO. At this year's D23 in Brazil, Disney took the opportunity to provide fans with all kinds of new trailers and announcements. Let's have a look at the highlights of the event. First, here's the latest news from Marvel. New trailers were released for the upcoming blockbuster highlights, Thunderbolts, and Captain America: Brave New World. The audience was also able to watch the first footage from the Fantastic Four: First Steps. It featured Reed Richards, played by Pedro Pascal, introducing a school class to the world of science. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm and Ebon Moss-Backrack in the role of Ben Grimm also had their first appearance. The Fantastic Four then set off on their journey into space to a resounding round of applause. The spectacular 1960s look was especially praised. This confirms once again that the movie will return to the franchise's comic book roots, and the movie will be released in theaters on July 25th, 2025. Moreover, it was officially confirmed that Scarlet Witch will return for the upcoming phases of the MCU. And last but not least, Charlie Cox went on stage to once again promote the series Daredevil Born Again. The Star Wars universe also had some new things to announce. The release date for Andor Season 2 was revealed, April 22nd, 2025. The popular robot K2SO, who we already know from Rogue One, will also be a part of the action. Animation fans were also in for a treat. The first image from the live-action adaptation of Lilo and Stitch has been made public. It shows Stitch wearing a flower garland and apparently being spotted by someone. A second trailer for the Lion King prequel, Mufasa, was presented as well. In addition, it was confirmed that Incredibles 3 and Ice Age 6 are in development. Lastly, a picture of Judy Hopps and Nick Wilde from Zootopia 2 was shown. With Alien Romulus, 20th Century Studios has achieved a remarkable success this year. With a budget of $80 million, the film grossed over $350 million worldwide, reason enough for a series of further sequels, and even Ridley Scott is working on making a movie of his own again. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Scott is to play a major part in the franchise again. There's currently no information about the story of the planned film. It also remains unclear whether the new part will follow on from Alien Covenant, or whether it'll tell an independent story within the series. Scott regretted that he didn't have long-term control over the franchise from the outset. Nevertheless, he seems to regularly manage to get involved as a creative consultant and producer. Scott and his company Scott Free are also involved as producers for the upcoming series Alien Earth, which is being developed by Fargo creator Noah Hawley. The series will serve as a prequel to the Alien film series and is intended to shed light on the origins of the deadly xenomorph. Scott, who directed the first Alien movie in 1979, was not actively involved in the continuation of the series for a long time. It wasn't until 2012 that he returned with Prometheus and established a new era in the Alien universe. However, the film was not particularly well received by fans, and Alien Covenant fell short of expectations as well. As a result, 20th Century Studios decided to hand over the reins to Fede Alvarez for some time. News from Westeros. After 8 seasons of the main series and 2 seasons of the prequel House of the Dragon, George R.R. Martin's popular fantasy world is to be expanded once again. A Game of Thrones movie is in the making. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the currently untitled project is still in the early stages of development, so there are still no details about the cast or the story. There are many possibilities, though. The surviving members of the Stark family could be the focus of the plot, for example. After all, Jon Snow was meant to get his own series dealing with his adventures north of the Wall. Or the story could be dedicated to Arya, who wanted to discover the unexplored territories west of Westeros at the end of the series. The fact that Warner is also considering movies alongside the series shows a bit of rethinking. Instead of limiting the Game of Thrones universe exclusively to HBO, a movie adaptation could attract new fans who have had little to do with the franchise so far. However, that doesn't mean we have to do entirely without any new series. After all, the next big Game of Thrones spin-off is coming next year with A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. With the second season of Wednesday, Netflix is almost sure to have another huge hit in the works. Yet the markers don't appear to be resting on their laurels, as another big star is said to be joining the cast of the sequel. The magazine Entertainment Weekly claims to have learned from sources that no less than Lady Gaga will be seen in an as-of-yet unknown role. She's reportedly currently filming for the role in Europe. Previously, a fan video went viral in which her hit Bloody Mary was mixed with dance footage of Jenna Ortega's Wednesday. Ortega, who is also the producer of the second season, revealed at the 2023 Golden Globes that she would love to have Lady Gaga in the sequel. There's no further details about the plot of Season 2 at the moment. Nevertheless, initial rumors have already been circulating that Morticia Addams, who acts as the matriarch of the Addams family, is set to play a much bigger role in the second season. The series will once again be produced by Tim Burton, who will also be directing the series. With Hercules, we're about to get another live-action adaptation of a Disney classic, but it looks like it'll be a lot different than previously assumed. As Hollywood insider Daniel RPK revealed, this time the movie will be told from the point of view of villain Hades. This is reminiscent in the shift in perspective in the Maleficent films with Angelina Jolie. The story of the Hercules animated film will of course continue to be used as reference. Coda actor Ferdia Walsh-Pilo will take on the role of Hercules. However, it's not known who will play Hades. The director's position is also still vacant. The only thing that's certain so far is that the film will be produced by the Russo brothers. The insider further suggests that the movie could even be given a name change and from now on be called Hades. The story of the Greek demigod has been made into a movie several times. In the 90s, there was even a TV series in which Kevin Sorbo played the role. The last live-action film adaptation was released in 2014 with Dwayne Johnson, but it was not a huge success. Wakanda Forever. Black Panther 3 is coming, and with it, none other than Denzel Washington. According to Variety, Black Panther director Ryan Coogler has a special role in mind for Washington in the sequel. This gesture has a very special meaning. The late Black Panther star Chadwick Boseman once revealed that Washington financed his acting lessons, and thus contributed significantly to his career. Washington's involvement in Black Panther 3 would therefore be a touching tribute to Boseman, and a symbolic return to the roots of the franchise. In a conversation with Today Magazine, Washington also spoke about his retirement from the acting industry. In August 2024, he had already hinted at ending his career. He's now confirmed that only selected projects remain on his personal wish list. Few would have guessed that a Marvel blockbuster was among them. It's not yet known when the movie will be released in cinemas. Washington's next appearance is in Gladiator 2, which opens in the United States on November 22nd. Only 1 year after the gigantic success of Godzilla Minus One, director Takashi Yamazaki will be directing a new film featuring the King of the Monsters. According to Variety, though, it's not known whether this is a direct sequel. However, it's a possibility. Although Godzilla was defeated at the end of Godzilla Minus One, the final scene of the movie shows a chunk of Godzilla's flesh growing back at the bottom of the sea. Bringing in director Yamazaki again is certainly a sign that Toho may want to tell a coherent story, or perhaps even set up a new Godzilla film series. Whether the fates of the survivors of the predecessor will be pursued further is yet to be seen. With global box office takings of $116 million, Godzilla Minus One was not only commercially successful, it was also praised by fans and critics. The movie was also given the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects.